How's it going, guys? Today I'm going to be showing you how to make a speed garage remix like BK298. We're going to be looking at his remix of Mika and Big Angie's track Sexy Eyes. Here's a preview of our remake. So yeah, this is a remake of Big Angie's Sexy Eyes track. She's also got tons of bangers all over YouTube and many on Spotify as well. My personal favourite is the Wifey bassline remix. If you haven't heard it, check it out. It's fucking banging. Anyway, let's crack on and see how it's made. Great, so firstly we're going to take a brief look at the drums. First layer is this kick. It's really nice and heavy. All of these drums are from my Speed Garage Volume 3 drums pack. You can get that from the link in the description. So yeah, the pack's got tons of loops, one-shots and effects. Let's have a quick look at it now. So it's got claps, tons of claps, crashes, open hats, which I think are very, very important to get right for Speed Garage. It's got rides, rims, effects, so you got noise, risers, ragger, crowd noise, and of course it's got loops, so you've got top loops, so yeah, you can just drag and drop them. This is the 47 loops, so this one just dragged and dropped in, which obviously moves on to our next bit. Play that with the kick. Make sure you got it on beats mode. Add a little bit more spice by adding this extra hat. I'll mute it. Just a little bit more. And this is just the Speed Open 1 hat. Processing, I've got no process. All the drums have sort of already been processed and I didn't really feel the need for it. Now we've gone over the drums, we can focus on the bass. And the bass is made up of 3 layers. So the first is this top, followed by this sub, and then this garage warp, which I especially love. All together. Okay, so let's start with this first layer. So yeah, this first layer is obviously made in Serum. So this patch is from my Speed Garage Volume 2 pack, as is the warp. And yeah, you can get them from the link in the description. They've got over 60 of the sickest presets for making Speed Garage, like modern day Speed Garage producers. It makes it so much easier to make Speed Garage when you've got the right presets. To make Speed Garage, it's super important that you're using presets that are made for the genre, because it's quite niche compared to, like, say, techno and stuff like that. The basses are just not the same. It's definitely worth investing in a Speed Garage pack. Great, I'm now going to show you how to make something like this from scratch. Great, so initiate preset. Analog, BSOD square, put that in oscillator B as well, analog, BSOD square, pitching down by 2 octaves, oscillator A, let's go plus 30, oscillator B, minus 30, let's hear it. Let's turn this filter on, let's go MG low 18, drag it down a bit, go onto this envelope, make it look something like this, drag that onto the cutoff. Make sure you select A and B. Let's adjust it to taste. Something like that. Let's now go and add some hyper dimension to bring the hyper down and bring the dimension up. Size. Basically making it wider. We can then add a reverb. Try using a plate. Better. I feel like it needs a little bit more high end, so let's grab an EQ and let's boost the high end. There's also a little bit of a click, so let's go to envelope 1 and raise up the attack. Let's add some distortion. Maybe some chorus. And let's hear it. bring that cutoff up. I think we need more high end still. Could even try an MG low 12. Let's add a sub and go -2. Obviously, you can play around this filter and the amount that's going up. Taste. So yeah, another thing I'd say is that I've gone a bit lower on the filter. So 95, and then the envelope is coming up to 35. I've also added a little bit of res and some fat. So another thing, this filter has also brought up the cutoff a slightly more, which means it's about here. But yeah, it's obviously a taste thing. Another thing we've got on the processing is this EQ. So we're taking out anything above 100 Hertz. Great, let's move on now to the next layer. So we have this sub. Taking out anything above 114 Hertz. To make a sub like this, literally so easy. All you got to do is initiate preset, turn on the sub, turn off the oscillator, pitch is down by 3. That's it, literally so easy. And that's just a nice deep sub together. And obviously you can just adjust the sub, no sub, mix it in. Great, the next layer is this warp bass. This really helps to make a nice transition into the next sort of bar. This is also a preset from that speed gauge pack. Quite a lot of automation going on. So if we have a look in oscillator A, we've got an analog BDS sine. So analog BDS sine, got that again in B. This is down 2 octaves. This is down 1 octave. This warping sound is coming from this LFO. At first, your LFO is gonna look like this. You just got to drag this up, and then you've got to bend these slightly using these, and then drag that over here. We then got to drag this onto the FM from B. So go down here, select FM from B, then drag that up using that headphone icon to 54. We're then going to drag that onto the cutoff. The cutoff is set at 49, and then we've dragged that up by 38. And we've also done a slight bit on the drive, just 1, which doesn't really do a lot, to be honest. And then to the sub, we've got it again, sort of like halfway, and then all the way up. In envelope 1, we've just added a bit of an attack, just so it's not clicking or anything like that, and it's sort of rising up in volume. When it comes to effects, we've kept it super simple. We've just got a bit of reverb and a bit of dimensions to make it wider. This LFO2 is connected just to the fat. This has actually been bypassed, so it just makes it a little bit fatter as it rises up. But if you were to remove that, it is quite subtle. I mean, you can actually hear it a little bit. Just rises a little bit more in volume. So yeah, it's super nice patch, and it's really good for like using at the end of the bar as a transition. So yeah, this also isn't the final mix. This is sort of like a rough mix. If you're then going to release it, I'd send it off to like someone on Fiverr or something like that, who's then going to mix it and master it. It's really not good to mix and master your own tracks, especially if you're going to put them on like Spotify. If you're just going to put them on like SoundCloud, it's fine. Like people care about the mix less, but I'd say on Spotify, it's best to do your own. Like a lot of my own mixes. So if you have a look at this, like that I didn't mix. That's the best mix on there by far. That was mixed by Jamie Nugent. Like this one, I think I actually did mix that, which is alright. Pretty decent. This one's fucking terrible, so I mixed this on myself. Kick's way too loud. Piano's a bit flat. I've not heard these tunes in fucking years. See that? Just so bad. The drums are so weak. The vocals muddy. But if you like send it to someone else and they can instantly hear, like I'm listening to that now, when you've been listening to the same song for ages and ages, you get used to like the little frequencies and like issues with it, and your brain just plays them off. Oh, that sounds good. As this, I haven't listened to in ages. I can listen back and go, fucking hell, like I've completely changed that mix. Like there's so many different issues with it. But yeah, anyway guys, sorry for that rambling at the end. I will see you next time. As always, please comment down below. It really helps push the video out. And yeah, I'll see you next week. Cheers.